Look, I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This week's episode is late. It's late. I fully admit it. I've been busy. Work has been crazy. And my wife's been out of town, so I've been single parenting for several days. And, the holidays are coming up and things get crazy. And oh, by the way, with the holidays coming up, hey, check it out. This is the Overtime Arcade limited edition holiday t-shirt. It also comes in a sweatshirt available for a limited time right now in the Overtime Arcade official merchandise shop. Check the link down below. These have been flying off the shelves. People love them. Wear them to a ugly t-shirt or ugly Christmas sweater party, whatever. Get in the mood for the holiday spirit, Christmas spirit. Get your t-shirt right now, limited edition. Once it's gone, it's gone. We'll never do it again. Maybe we'll do something else next year. Yeah, grab your arcade parts. All I want for Christmas is arcade parts. Christmas t-shirt, limited edition. Check the link down below. Anyway, so I've been busy, and I really have been trying to get that Tetris cocktail done, but it's been so cold, too cold to work in the garage, and too cold to paint, and I really need to paint. Today was actually like 60 degrees, and I got a ton of painting done, but still not enough to make a whole episode about. So here's what I'm gonna do. When things like this happen, when I get behind and I need to make a video because I don't ever want to miss a week, I dip into my strategic pickup reserve. That's right. For the past couple of months, I've picked up quite a few games, like 6 or 7 or so, that I haven't told you guys about. I've shared it with, the channel member Discord, but I haven't publicly announced these pickups. I certainly haven't done pickup videos for them. And what this allows me to do is, when I'm getting behind, I need to put a video together for a weekend, I can do a pickup video. These are very easy pickup videos. All the work is basically going and getting the game. Doing the videos, pretty straightforward. Typically a normal episode is like a week's worth of work in the garage, working on the games, and then putting a video together. Pickup videos are a lot less work, and you guys really like them. Pickup videos do super well with views and everything, so that's what we're going to do today. And the story here is pretty typical. So, I was traveling to visit family in Connecticut, so of course I'm going to check Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and wherever I'm traveling, and I found this. So, yeah, I'm finally getting a Pac-Man upright. I've been looking for one for a while, and as many of these as they made, it seems kind of hard to find them sometimes. But yeah, found this Pac-Man for a good price. Looks okay. It hasn't been converted. Artwork looks decent. So the price was good. So I reached out to the seller. He gave me some more pictures of it. The monitor's working. And, it's got the original board, original hardware, so this thing hasn't been, swapped out with a 60-in-1 or whatever. So, yeah, on my way to go visit some family, I stopped and picked up this game. Here's a couple images from the pickup. Everything looked good. Did a quick inspection. It was what I was expecting. So, loaded up on the truck, and it's been sitting in my garage ever since. So, why don't we go out to the garage? We'll dig into this thing and see what's going on with this Pac-Man. And let me tell you, there's a surprise waiting for all of us inside, so why don't we go check it out? Let's go!
Overtime!
All right, and here it is. It's at home, and it's actually been about 4 months later. This thing has been hiding in the back of the garage since August. You guys might have seen this every once in a while, sort of peeking through, but yeah. But now that I need to do a pickup video, we're busting it out. And here I am actually working on the Tetris monitor. We're still having some tube issues. You might not notice it on camera, but every now and then it'll flash blue or flash red, which I'm pretty sure is shorts on the guns and the neck. But that's not our focus right now. Our focus is this Pac-Man upright. So I'll get the camera mounted onto the tripod here, and we will dig into this cabinet and see what's going on. So I noticed a couple of interesting things during the pickup, but everything went well. We got it home safe and sound. I even made a pit stop at with Overtime Arcade channel member Jerry Voluptuous on the way home. So Here we go. And this thing is totally wrapped all the way around, so I'm going to have to figure out how I want to cut into this thing, get it unwrapped. All right, this cabinet is, all in all, in pretty decent shape. There we go. All right. And the reason I wrapped this so well is it was threatening rain, and of course, naturally, as soon as I get it on the truck and hit the road, it starts pouring. So the arcade gods were on my side that day, and this has been sitting in the garage, wrapped up ever since. So we're almost there, and I even wrapped it all the way around the bottom. But it's sitting on the furniture dolly, holding that part down. All right. Oh, and the back door is falling off. Something's not right. Something is very not right. Did the monitor slide? This monitor is falling out. Holy smokes. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm kind of risking things by showing you and not immediately addressing it. This monitor is falling out of the back of the cabinet. The back door was on, but look at this. It wouldn't go on anymore. This monitor's falling out. So let me get this all squared away. Yeah, how did that even happen? How did that even happen? Where's the bottom bracket? What the heck? All right, let me get this sorted out real quick. Okay, I got the monitor safely out of the cabinet, and boy, this was pretty wild. Basically, the way that the monitor is mounted in a Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man Midway cabinet of this generation, there are these two sort of railings that run down there, and there's stoppers right there. And so there's two kind of crossbars that get mounted onto the frame of the monitor, and those crossbars, slide here and go all the way down. And then, there's a stopper down there, and I guess you sort of screw it in at the top here. And basically what had happened was the bottom bracket had fallen off, or the bottom crossbar had fallen off of the frame. It was in the bottom of the cabinet. The bolts that hold it onto the frame of the monitor were in the bottom of the cabinet. And so basically, the crossbar, the top crossbar was still on. That was what was holding the monitor in the cabinet. And the back door was, shrink wrapped together. And so the bottom, I guess the back of the frame, fortunately not, the neck was up against the back door. And when I cut the stretch wrap, it pushed the back door off, and the monitor kind of swung down like this. If there was no crossbar down there, the bottom of the monitor swung out like this, and it was bending actually the frame and the crossbar up at the top there. But I got it all sorted out. I fished out those bolts, and here we are. If you can see these two crossbars, and this is the one that had fallen off. It was just in the bottom of the cabinet. I don't know how that happened. One of the things I'm always very careful of whenever I'm picking up a game is making sure that the monitor is mounted safely, securely in the cabinet. Otherwise, I take the monitor out completely. That makes it lighter. I have the monitor, travel in the cab of my pickup when I throw the cabinet in the back. And I did, and I made sure, I tug on it, I pull on it and make sure that monitor's in there, and it was. So I don't know how this happened. Two bolts wiggled out, and but that was a close call. It was kind of precariously in there, and even the grounding strap was sort of holding it in place. But this is a K7000 monitor, so not the original. And somebody transferred these mounting crossbars onto the frame of this K7000. Originally, a Pac-Man probably would have come with a 4600. So K7000, definitely a later generation, sort of two generations later of Wells Gardner monitor. And here we are. And it's been modified a little bit. So kind of a couple interesting things going on. So the DAG wire, which comes off of the monitor there, that's supposed to go to the neck, but instead that's being mounted to the chassis frame here, and then another wire connects that. And then there's a quick connect, weird one, like a Molex, to the monitor, to the neck board. So that's a bit strange. I think this is the focus wire coming off of the flyback has another quick connect here going into the socket. There's a ton of hot glue holding the socket on, or the neck board onto the neck. Looks like it's never come off. And there's another weird mod right here, an older style pot mounted right here next to the video input headers. And there are these two wires that go down underneath. And I sent a picture of this to Mike from Mike's Amateur Arcade Monitor Repair. He's never seen this mod before. He's interested to find out where these wires go underneath. So we're going to have to pull this chassis and take a look at it. But this is a K7000, and I'm interested to see if it works. So I've got it hooked up to my Crafty Mech TPG, the test pattern generator. I will turn that on. There we go. Now it's on. And I've got my benchtop ISO hooked up. So here we go. We'll turn it on in 3, 2, 1. We have HV. And in the sales listing, we did see some raster at least coming up on this monitor. And there we go. We have an image. It is all jacked up. Let me take a minute here and see if I can dial it in a little bit. All right, that's actually about as good as I can get the monitor right now, believe it or not. And I don't know if maybe there's some sort of issue with the green is being overdriven. Maybe it's a tube issue. Who knows? But we can step through here, and you can see all the colors are actually there if it shows up on camera. There's blue and there's red, but the green is just sort of cranked, and I can't seem to fix that. But yeah, it's working. I mean, not working properly, but. Hey, K7000 monitor. We'll have to get the tube onto the rejuvenator. We can test the chassis on another tube and sort of isolate what the problem is. But hey, technically a working monitor. It's just not working properly. All right, over here, back at the cabinet. We'll take a look at what's going on. First of all, this is serial number 20831, so 20,831. We can kind of see, one thing that really jumps out at me is how the T-molding has faded. Obviously, it's cracked. It needs to be repaired. The original is a little bit closer to this. Even this is a little bit faded, but it's orange. And you can see how it's faded all the way to like a yellow or a slightly orangish yellow on that side. Of course, this has the iconic sort of blue speckled dots all over the place. Look at that. Some factory dripping of the paint. And this thing, it's a little bit rough, but it's actually in pretty good shape. We've got some of the paint is kind of flaking off, but it's really not too bad. Up at the top, people would put their hands on the top of the cabinet because Pac-Man is not a particularly tall cabinet. Coming around to this side, this is the better of the two sides. Very, very typical handwear on the side of the cabinet. Again, Pac-Man being a one-handed game, people would just hold on to the side of the cabinet and the oils from their hands would, rub the paint off. But really, other than that, not too bad at all. Very happy. The corners aren't blown out. A little bit of chipping, but really not terrible. Very happy with that. And around here at the front, I do have the bezel and the shroud and all that kind of stuff, and the tinted plexi. So that's all good. I took that out because it's glass for safekeeping. On the control panel, I got a kind of a choice to make here. The CPO isn't too bad. This corner is kind of peeling up a little bit. It's really not too bad, but the metal control panel itself is obviously, starting to rust a little bit, and a lot of paint is worn off. So I don't know. Should I replace this CPO, like rip the CPO off, repaint the control panel, or should I just mask it and paint the metal control panel around the existing CPO? Let me know what you think. Up here we've got a pretty nice marquee. A little bit of, I think this is just gunk on the outside. Really not bad at all. Coming down to the front, we've got some holes left over from a lock bar, but that's that is what it is. Some planking with the wood here on the front, but I've seen much worse. And sort of this pattern of where the bottom is typically from like a mop or broom coming up against and wearing off some of that paint. Coin doors here, not too bad. The reject buttons are not frozen with rust. You know, I don't know what would cause kind of this. Maybe there was a padlock from a lock bar swinging down here and making that wear off. Over here, we've got the, this is the slam switch that obviously gets held on here by the lock, and so this dangles when there's no lock. I don't know what this wiring is right here. I don't think this, this probably goes to right here, and this broke off. So that coin switch is not going to work because there's no, I don't know if that's the ground or the signal. I'm guessing it's the signal because it's not green, but this one's still wired in, so that should be all right. We do have some rust here. Coin counter has 69,104 on it, so we'll ask Professor Pac-Man, as always, to do that math for us. But yeah, there's a bunch of electrical tape right here. I don't know what's going on with that. Interesting. And we have our test and credit switch right there. This is the coin bucket that's in the cabinet. I don't believe this is original by any stretch. That's something written on there. Midway, $2.40 retail. I don't know what those numbers mean. Inside here, we got a couple of interesting things going on. We've got a business card from Old School Vending in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So that's kind of interesting. And in here, we have the sticker from the vibration switch. We have some nuts and bolts and screws. We have a quarter. This looks like, oh, it's not going to want to focus. 1969. And this is kind of interesting. This is a pack of fuses. Can I open it? Yeah. Oh, there's stuff in here, actually. All right. Okay. Trying to do this one-handed. Things are falling out, but there were some fuses in there, so that's kind of cool. I guess these, used to come in little metal tins, almost like Altoids, but that's neat. Okay, toss that back in here. Buttons on the control panel feel okay. Joystick, not too bad. A little bit of slop, but it's over 40 years old. So what do you expect? Turn it around, and we'll go to the other side of the cabinet. And this is definitely the worst of the two sides. So the hand wear is not too bad over here because this would be left-handed people putting their right hand on the cabinet. But we do have some more severe flaking and planking. I don't know if this was dragged at some point. These sort of deep gouges right here. Somebody obviously attempted a pretty poor job at touching up the paint that didn't even match. So we'll figure something out. I don't want to really do an in-depth restoration here. I am certainly, before you get any ideas, I am not going to redo the stenciled artwork on this cabinet. Absolutely not. After all the pain I went through with the Ms. Pac stencils over there, we are not doing that. But maybe I'll attempt a little bit of touching up. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. What would you do if this was your cabinet? Coming back to the inside here, we'll see a couple things. We have a serial number tag, paper tag. It says regular PMUR for Pac-Man upright, matching serial number as we would expect, 20,831. We have the dip switch settings right here for Pac-Men. Isn't that interesting? They were probably going through some iterations on exactly what the game would be called and how it would be spelled. Coming down here, oh, we see one thing right here, the power switch, the wires have been cut, and the power wires are just sort of twisted together, I'm assuming, and then some electrical tape on that. Coming down here, we can see they did something similar for the interlock switch. So this thing does not have a power switch anymore. I guess if you just plug it in, it'll turn right on. And we have our power cord. This is the original power cord with a new end spliced on with not a particularly good job here. Couple of wire nuts and just twist the ground. Hey, whatever works. Okay. And there's more tomfoolery in here. So one thing I'm noticing, if this will show up on camera, this is not the original transformer assembly. So that says Pac-Man upright number 8027. So this was swapped out We got a date on the transformer here of February, I can't quite tell what that says, 27th maybe, 1981. Seems kind of, well, I guess Pac-Man was what, like October of 1980? Yeah, if you haven't noticed the real big shenanigan going on in here, it's right there, right over here. One of the fuses has been replaced with some foil, so I don't like that at all. So here's what I'm gonna do. Obviously we got the board here. This doesn't look too bad. One thing I noticed at pickup was the edge connector was disconnected. It was kind of just sitting on here and not pushed down all the way. So that could have been one of the issues why it wasn't booting in the listing. And looking closely at the edge connector on the board, it doesn't look too bad. These often get all burnt up, but I'm not seeing that here. So let me pop this back on all the way. All right. And yeah, the board doesn't look terrible. I'm guessing these are replacement ROMs, just because of the labels on them. But they didn't do the DC mod or anything like that. So, but yeah, and oh yeah, we got the, here we go, the original manual here. And I believe I saw something in here at some point. Wasn't there like a piece of paper inserted in here? Oh, yeah, here it is right in front. So this gives us a little bit more information. Oh, we have a sticker that fell off of the monitor. Is there anything else? No. So this is, I guess, in duplicate, right? Carbon copy paper. And I'm not sure if it'll show up great on camera, but I guess this was shipped from Santa Fe, New Mexico to New York, New York, Varick Street. I don't know what borough that's in. Yeah, went from Albuquerque to JFK. Is there a date on here anywhere? It was listed as a pinball machine, which is kind of strange. Okay. February 9th, 2005. So yeah, I guess somebody moved with this at some point and had it shipped in 2005 to New York. But I picked this thing up in Connecticut. So maybe it's moved, been sold, changed hands a few times. So this is what I want to do at this point. I'm going to go through all these fuses. I'll test them. I'll replace that 2 amp slow blow fuse right there. That's just foil. I'm guessing this is a blown fuse that they just wrapped in foil to make it work. But I'll replace all of this, check the fuses, and then we'll be ready for a quick little test. Stay tuned. Okay, I went through and I actually put an entire new set of 6 fuses, 6 brand new fuses into the cabinet. These fuse holders are notorious for being absolutely terrible. And I'm sure I'll replace them at some point. But for now, I just kind of squeezed the tabs together a little bit. And in fact, you know what I should do is double check continuity across all of them real quick. So I've got my multimeter set to continuity test, and we're going to go from tab to tab. Good, 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 good. All right. So that's good. Several, I think both of the 12 volt fuses were blown. I think one 12 volt is for the lights, I forget. And a lot of the fuses were wrong, were incorrect. So I've got all the correct fuses in, and I've got the monitor back into the cabinet. It's all plugged back in. I haven't fixed any of the wiring issues. I'm even still going to just use this terrible, unsafe plug. So let's go for it. I'll pull down my new handy dandy retractable extension cord. Here we go. And I got from Harbor Freight that Sean Cruikshank, Overtime Arcade channel member Sean Cruikshank, put me on to Black Friday sale. But anyway, here we go. Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. Whoops. 3, 2, 1. Monitor's on. Nothing's catching fire. let's come around to the front of the cabinet. You can see a bunch of the Tetris parts that I'm painting. Oh no. Yeah. Maybe we don't have any life on this PCB. Try coining up real quick. Whoops. Nope. We don't even have a working PCB. Let me, not great. Not coining up. I don't hear anything. Let me take a look at a couple different things real quick. Success! Well, kind of. So, yeah, this is the best that I can get it looking right now, and it looks so weird in the camera. It's almost like there's a radar sweep going across. The green is on the screen the whole time, so the shutter or the refresh rate or something is just completely bizarre. But you can see all the colors are there, and we've got Pac-Man playing. So the what the monitor was doing or what the game was doing sort of indicated to me that the logic wasn't running. So I did a couple things. I cleaned up the edge connector. I reseated all the socketed chips. That didn't do anything. I was still having that same issue. I took a close look at the Z80 and I noticed one of the pins, one of the legs, looked like it was bent a little bit, like it wasn't in all the way. So I tried sticking it back in, but it kept sort of popping out. And I even put a brand new Z80 in there, and immediately the leg wanted to pop out the same way. So I figured, hey, this socket is shot. So I went through the laborious process of removing the old socket, each pin one by one. I basically ripped the plastic part of the socket out, and then I removed each pin one at a time. And unfortunately, I lifted one of the tiny little pads on the top side, the part side of the PCB, that goes underneath the socket. And these are teeny tiny traces and pads, and Valley Midway just did not have really robust PCBs. So I repaired that. You see me do that before with copper tape and soldering it on and poking a hole through, and it's teeny tiny. We're talking like a millimeter space between the traces and the pads. And I ohmed it all out with continuity on my multimeter, and everything looked good. And I plugged it in, and there's nothing, but I could just barely kind of faintly see that there was something from Pac-Man playing. I could see there was some sort of text on the screen, and I credited up and hit the start button, and I didn't hear any sound, but I thought I saw a ghost, and I messed with the the brightness and the screen pot and the flyback, and this is about as good as I can get it right now. And we can actually go ahead, let me credit up and play a game. There we go, push start button, but the sound doesn't work, and I think it's the amp. I did the little trick, I reached behind the board while it was on. This is not really recommended, especially because there's AC on the Pac-Man board. And I rubbed my fingers against the solder side pins of the amp by the volume pot. And if the amp is good, you should be able to rub your fingers against it and get sound coming out of, some sort of sound coming out, popping coming out of the speaker, but nothing. So I think that amp is bad, that amp chip is bad, so we'll have to replace it at some point. But let's play a really terrible game of Pac-Man right here. And I am not a fantastic player. I don't know the patterns. I've watched the videos, and I know, Pac-Man, oops, ooh, just barely made it out of there. Pac-Man is very patternable, and I'm almost embarrassed that I've gone this long in my life without ever learning patterns of Pac-Man, but be that as it may, I'm not going to survive that. Nope. Let's at least clear the first screen here. But hey, we've got a partially working Pac-Man board. It looks like there may be some sort of graphical issue still going on. I see there's lines through Pac-Man, through the sprites and the ghosts, and I'm not sure entirely what to make of that. There's the Fix My Pac-Man site that basically has every possible issue with Pac-Man fully documented, and it'll tell you exactly what you're seeing. Fix this. There we go. Got a couple ghosts here. All right, there. And we lost the fruit, but we're almost off the first board. Yeah, I'll just clear it. So, yeah, there we go. We've got a working Pac-Man board, partially working, right? Looks like kicking the stuff that I painted. We got some graphical issues. We've got no sound. Monitor needs work, obviously, but hey, it's Pac-Man, it's working. And you know what? I didn't set my house on fire. Could you believe that? I've never, I've heard of that before, people using, aluminum foil in place of a fuse, but I've never actually seen that in real life. But anyway, you can see up here, there's, Pac-Man uses two incandescent bulbs, regular bulbs as marquee lights, and one's working and one's not. Coin door lights aren't working. I'm guessing the bulbs are blown, but hey, we've got at least a partially working Pac-Man here. So that'll be cool. Not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this Pac-Man, especially since I have, you can kind of see him back here, two Pac-Man mini cabaret cabinets projects hiding back there. You can barely see them. So now I've got three Pac-Man cabinets. Technically four if you count the Class of '81, which has the original Pac-Man hidden inside with a secret code. But I've basically decided to sell that to market at Back to the Media Arcade in Winchester, Virginia. He's borrowed it for a while. He's just gonna buy it from me. We'll work out a trade or a sale or something. But yeah, Pac-Man. Maybe this will go to my office. I actually have, my new office at work. We changed buildings, and there's actually a ton of room for games there. So not just a Tetris cocktail. Maybe this Pac-Man. Maybe one of the cabarets, one of the minis. I don't know. We'll get a couple games over there. That should be a lot of fun. But yeah, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of the episodes. We'll be fixing up this Pac-Man at some point. I got a ton of other games here. Other games that I haven't even announced, like that and like this. What the heck is this thing? You recognize that CPO? Lots of weird stuff going on there. And of course, games that I have mentioned and just not fixed. Like, what's that? That doesn't make any sense, right? Over here, that sort of thing. So subscribe so you don't miss any of this stuff. Hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. What are your memories of playing Pac-Man? Do you have a Pac-Man machine? Have you restored one? Any tips or tricks you want to share with me on a restoration or how to play Pac-Man better? Yeah, if you want to support the channel a couple different ways, there is a super thanks button down below. Basically, it's like a super chat. It's a one-time donation. We've got a merchandise shop. There's a link down below, the Overtime Arcade official merchandise shop. Hats and t-shirts and hoodies and stuff, including our limited edition holiday Christmas t-shirt. Once that thing is gone, it'll be gone forever, so you don't want to miss that. But the best way to support the channel is to become an Overtime Arcade channel member. We've got an awesome community of over 100 folks. Basically, they donate $1.99 a month and they get to support the channel. And in exchange, they get access to some awesome perks like a monthly members only live stream. Our December one's gonna be kind of early to not interfere with Christmas. Channel members also get exclusive early access to all new videos. So they get to watch each new episode about a day in advance. This one's way behind. I've been super busy. Things have been crazy, it gets like that sometimes. So this video didn't get released until Monday. I usually release my videos on Sundays, so they get access to this like late Sunday night. And the best part about becoming an Overtime Arcade channel member is access to our private members-only Discord. It is a really awesome message board, chat room style thing. It's sort of like Slack, if you've ever used that. It's like it's awesome. Discord is great. The channel member Discord that we have here at Overtime Arcade is awesome. So click that join button down below and learn more about what it means to become an Overtime Arcade channel member. And I definitely appreciate all the support from these awesome folks. So anyway, I think that'll do it. As always, I've been Charlie. Thanks for watching Overtime Arcade, and we'll see you next time.
Overtime!